children of the night. What music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's that?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Oh, Final Guys is here. The best thing to happen to Tuesday since Happy Days in Laverne and Shirley, for those old enough to remember.
Wow.
And if you're watching live or later on YouTube, you notice that Jason has resurrected the original opening credits where, thank you, you got me in the bathroom doing the show.
I made it so long ago, I don't remember it.
Oh, my Lord. So, yes, we are back to the original Tres Leches. It is I, Hunter Shea. It is you, Jack Campese.
The Three Amigos.
Exactly. Oh, here we go. You're Cinderfella. I saw that movie. And, oh my God, Cinderella's ass. Jason Brandt.
Hello, everyone.
The man at the controls who runs everything. Tonight, we're going to dive into a tale as old as time. I know that's Beauty and the Beast, but it's a princess thing.
I wouldn't have known if you didn't say that.
I didn't either.
See, this is what happens when you live in a house full of women. We are going to do the Shudder new movie, Norwegian, all the way from Norway, The Ugly Stepsister. A very interesting take on an old fairy tale.
The irony here is Chad has been chatting up this movie for a month now.
Yeah.
A little bit pissed that we didn't do it in favor of Final Destination, but we're like, it's on Shudder. It's not going anywhere. And now we finally got to it. I know we know Chad loved it, so now we got to see.
Chad, this episode is for you.
For him.
Before we get rolling, as always, Jason, Jack, what's going on in your lives? I know you did an unboxing thing.
Yes, it's time for the monthly showing of what is the top movie I received. I don't mean like the best. I mean what's on top of the pile beside me, and that
Scraping the bottom.
That is Black Rage.
Oh my God!
Oh, with the overalls.
Look at this movie. When you're a slave, you only have one weapon.
Oh, that looks awesome.
This looks so insane. I actually tried to rip the VHS immediately, and it's in bad shape, so I don't know if I'll be able to salvage this or not. Because I was like, this has to be moved up the list. Like, what is this?
I feel Black Rage often, so that is tremendous.
Yeah,
that's the precursor to Django Unchained.
The overalls. I mean, God.
Jack, do you want to tell everybody what you and I did on Sunday night? You know, after we put our clothes back on.
We recorded our next Monster Man, which will probably come out this weekend. Tribute to Kolchak the Night Stalker with Terry M. West. Maybe the most fun you and I have had having a conversation with somebody in the whole time we've been doing this.
It's like, remember when you get like the supersized comics? This is a supersized Monster Man because we talked for over 2 hours.
Jeez.
Because we covered the TV movies, dove into every single of the 20 episodes on the show, the books, the spinoffs, the comic. I mean, everything you could possibly want to know about Kolchak the Night Stalker. We did it.
Wow.
So
2 hours.
It was funny because for a moment I was thinking about how I must be around normies when they ask me about something I'm passionate about and I start to go into too much detail.
Yeah.
But I was like, here I'm allowed to do that. It's encouraged. I just have to remember who the audience is when I'm gushing about every minute detail about Kolchak in 1972.
Do you remember the one when Dick Van Patten was in the UFO episode? It'd be like, who's Kolchak? Who's Dick Van Patten? Why do you care? Which, I get it. It's three old guys lamenting their past. So yeah, looking forward to that. And today is June 27th. This is the day that my book, We Are Always Watching, is back out in the world.
Yeah, baby.
So,
Who's it with now?
Dark Wolf Books. So they're an imprint of Wolfpack that does a
Wolfpack.
lot of Wolfpack.
Thank you.
Jason. They do mostly westerns and like tough guy fiction. So they've started a horror line, and if you want to tank a horror line, you bring in Hunter Shea to kick.
Cue the Titanic of book.
I say that, but Flame Tree is still doing well without me. So whatever. So that's back out. It's in print. It's an ebook that's based on the true story of the Westfield Watcher House in New Jersey, which is actually the real story is absolutely terrifying to buy this $1 million house and just find all kinds of weird notes that get more and more threatening and more personal, and nobody knows who's leaving it. Kind of creepy.
How many of your books are out of print now just because the publisher folded or contract expired?
It's probably about, this Wolfpack's putting this out. Combustible is coming out next month, and then I Kill in Peace, which was the last thing I ever did for Sam Hain, which was a nasty, violent novella that I could not believe they let me put out. I can't believe that these folks read it and will let me put it out.
What was the name of it?
I Kill in Peace.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a scene in that I was like, Jesus, dude.
There's a couple of scenes where I was even shocked that I wrote it.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I was hoping that one was going to get banned and it become one of those like controversial books.
It still could be. It has another life. So
Combustible's not available anymore?
No, I took that down when I signed up with these folks because they wanted it. So
I was gonna say, wasn't that just a year ago?
It was.
Okay. Yeah.
It was out for a few months, maybe. Actually, maybe I took it down around June or something last year. So
wow.
New cover, new life. Let's see how it goes. We're gonna burn it all, baby.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right. Who's got the drinking words?
Got him right here, baby. All right. As always, thanks to Sheridan Bradford. He must have spent minutes working on this. If you hear Jack say any of these words, take a drink. Long, Cinderella, or nose. Oh, he has nose emojis. Wow. If Hunter says...
Is that a nose?
Yeah, I think it's a nose.
Yes, it is.
If you hear Hunter say stable, Elvira, or eyelashes. If I say ball, worm, or rot. Or anyone else?
He was ready if we were bringing a fourth for today, so he left a slot there.
All right, well, we got a lot of bonus words then. Fairy, fantasy, retelling, Norway, toes, or Cronenberg.
I have issues with this movie, but we'll get to that later. For sure.
I'm so curious about this discussion.
As soon as I was done, my wife's like, "How was it?" I said, "I only want to know what Jason thinks of this movie." So can't wait. But we gotta wait because Jack has some news for us. Bring it on, brother. Maybe not.
I wasn't ready. It's the news. Yay.
Oh boy.
Yay.
I'm on it tonight, baby.
Watching the news.
Go for it, man.
We are always watching. Amazon, best place to buy.
Amazon, correct. Barnes and Noble, wherever.
Local bookstore.
Maybe. Not mine. My local bookstore is a used book shop. So unless they dig through my closet for old copies.
You ever go into bookstores and find old copies that you signed for me that I've resold?
I'm always looking for them.
My best buy, Jack. Donated.
I did find in a dollar store like 3 copies of Montauk Monster.
Really?
And they were in great condition. I scooped them right up. I'm like, oh, there we go. I can use those and sell them for $10.
I have some books that aren't signed by other authors I know that sometimes I give them to other people I know, and then other times I've never gone and put one in one of those little library things that you find on the corner somewhere.
I do that all the time.
Do you like that, as an author, when somebody goes and puts your book out there in the wild?
Sure.
Yeah. It means they liked it or didn't like it, but hopefully someone else will pick it up and like it.
I don't give a shit about piracy or anything. The only thing I care about is if you are selling my book so you make money and I don't. That's where I draw the line. Anything else, I couldn't care less.
No, I mean you've written it, you put it out there.
Yeah,
Just
don't
wanted to
care.
get around.
All right. Our first piece of news concerns not Annabelle the movie, but Annabelle the actual Raggedy Ann doll that's in the Warrens' basement. That's in the box that says do not open this. Don't touch the glass, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they've been told don't touch the doll and it's so dangerous, whatever. Well, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Annabelle, the real doll, is on tour right now around America.
On her own.
The Raggedy Ann doll.
The Raggedy Ann doll is on tour. The hell do they call it? The Devil's on the Run tour. It's going to places like the West Virginia State Penitentiary and Psychic Spirit Fest in San Antonio.
Psychic Spirit Fest. Yeah, of course.
A bunch of other places. If you look it up online, you can find the dates and the list. So it's funny how this thing was like, don't touch it. It's so dangerous too. You know what? It's okay if we just take it from hotel to hotel. And
Well, because there's certain incantations and things you do to make it safe around it, Jack. You don't understand how this
it's
works.
like, I've got this vial of Ebola. It'll be okay if we keep it in the cooler.
Like, if this thing is truly as possessed and evil, would you want it in your car driving to San Antonio to the Psychic Fest?
Let's put it on the plane and see if we can final destination this puppy.
Yeah.
That's a great Annabelle movie idea, actually.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Oh, Josh Barrio hitting us with a $5. Here in Portland, I have seen those small community libraries have the Beetlejuice book and the Evil Dead book. Wow.
Oh, the
Very nice.
Necronomicon.
Here.
Imagine that.
What's
Go to the little
the
library, come back, and suddenly there's deadites running around your house because you've read the stupid book out loud.
what's the
Joshua,
Beetlejuice
be
book?
careful.
I don't know. What is the Beetlejuice book? Is it
The
a
handbook for the recently deceased or something?
Oh,
like that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Maybe
guidebook
that's it.
or something like that. Nice. That's a
that's
pretty
nice.
cool freaking library to have that.
I have two of them, two little free libraries in my community. One on the beach. I try not to put much in there because it's just full of bugs. But then we got a nice one. I keep stocked. So I'll like get books from like Goodwill and used bookshops, and I'll put some of my books in there. Like I'm literally I think the only one keeping it together with things people want to read. I hate when people put a book of like, famous nickels from 1935. It's like,
I
just
should
throw
put
that shit out.
I should put that Violet Castro vampire book that's got all the sex scenes in it.
Yeah, exactly.
I hit gold, baby.
Put a little note, best read with one hand.
Bookmark all the good scenes.
I think you've already bookmarked it.
Check this out. I'm
Yeah.
trying something here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it didn't appear for us? It says
No.
comments take the stage. Show your comments during the live stream? I don't see
What?
anything.
I don't see anything either.
All right, well that did nothing. So all right, turning it back off.
There we go.
20 copies of Moonblood.
Experiment failed.
They're still there.
Oh,
I like that book a lot. I
Pull
wish
one
you'd
out and
write a
send it to
sequel.
me, pal.
that book is fun, man.
That's a fun book.
Also, he lives like in New Mexico in the middle of the desert. So who's going to his little library? Scorpions?
It's in a box outside like the one diner for 75 miles.
It's got the head from Seven next to it.
They're too busy cooking meth out there. I don't have time to read.
Here's another news story ripped from the headlines. Taylor Swift has a mansion in Rhode Island. And
Okay.
a severed human leg was found nearby.
On the grounds of her mansion?
Not on her grounds, but like in the neighborhood.
Oh.
And turns out like they identified the body and they say that there's no foul play. Although I don't know how you find a severed leg and there's no
Yeah.
foul play. Like,
Well,
it's not like finding a leg of lamb and being like, oh, okay.
it's the Cinderella story. You find the leg and you just go from house to house and you just put it against people who have one leg and see if it matches the other. It's probably
This
how
is
it
the
works.
part of the story that really jumped out at me. Additionally, they pointed out that since March 13th, there have been 13 sets of human remains found in the area. However, the police reject that these cases are tied together. All I'm saying is, I knew that Taylor Swift tickets cost an arm and a leg, but I didn't know literally.
Oh, I would need a snare drum for that one and a hi-hat. Well, I mean, Rhode Island's it used to be full of mobsters, so
Yeah.
I'm not shocked you're finding parts out there. That's like being like puzzled that there's bodies turning up in the swamps outside the Meadowlands in Jersey.
Right.
Like, oh, really? Probably half of Little Italy is in those swamps right now.
I wonder how many mansions Taylor Swift has and how much of her time is in Rhode Island.
4 minutes. I mean, I bet she wishes that leg was Blake Lively's. Heard there's a bit of falling out there.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
I know nothing about Taylor Swift.
The Shallows will never be the same.
Well, we're going to keep our eye on this and make sure that my first thought was that Taylor Swift is killing these people.
I could only wish.
That's kind of a cool idea for a story, though. If somebody who tours the world like that is also a serial killer. So every night they're in a new city, sometimes in a new country.
That could be the sequel to Borderline with Samara Weaving.
Or Trap.
Trap. Oh, God, I forgot about that movie. Jesus.
Yeah, it's God.
I have erased 90% of that movie from my brain.
Yeah. Real quick note. One of the scariest movies of all time, I would say, The Descent.
Yeah.
Solid movie.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming out. I don't know if I think it's available for pre-order. Janine Pipe is back at it. Her and Neil what's his name? Neil Marshall.
Neil Marshall.
Making of the Descent coffee table book. Available for pre-order. Janine's back, baby.
It's a coffee table book?
That's what it
Do
says
little
here.
legs pop out on the bottom?
Yeah,
like
it's
Kramer?
a coffee table book about coffee tables.
Wow.
What was the name of the other one that was about
Dog soldiers?
Sausages.
So this isn't sausages, just as a different.
It's
format?
sausages about the Descent.
Oh yeah, duh, Jesus.
Let us help you. The first one was about
same
werewolves.
director. Shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Not shocked. I always assumed that she would do that book eventually. Interested to read it because that's one of my favorite horror movies.
Yeah, it's a great movie. So
That's a modern classic. Yeah, modern. It's like 20 years old now, but
I think even older.
it might
Oh
be.
my God, we're so old.
But
Especially
you have
two of us.
you have to be 25 years to hit classic.
That's usually how it works for classic rock. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's almost a classic horror.
Damn.
Jesus Christ.
Whatever. Well, I'm gonna live forever, so it's fine.
last week we did Final Destination Bloodlines, and something happened May 19th in Argentina. During a screening of that movie,
Yeah.
a ceiling collapsed at the movie theater.
Oh no.
Let's see, there was 40 attendees. Nobody got killed, but
Do they know the chain of events that led to the ceiling collapse?
There was a glass of water that tipped over, and then it knocked over. It turned on a fan that blew.
Then there were marbles.
So
Wow, that sucks.
That theater maybe could use an upgrade or two. I'm thinking maybe a little remodel.
yeah, I think it had to do with a lot of rain or something. But
I can see that. It's funny. My wife, there was a bingo event here in the community. So my wife's like, well, we're going. She loves bingo. I went, and we got a big, beautiful hall here. And at one point, you hear this weird sound way up above us, and there's a ceiling fan that is going berserk. It's like rocking, crazy. It's making a weird noise. And some woman goes, "Don't Final Destination us, turn that shit off."
nice.
It was hysterical. And,
Wow.
It's bingo. 75% of the people there were over 80. No clue.
Tells you how old that movie is if the infirm are now calling things Final Destination.
I think some of the women there can actually see Tony Todd right now. Hi, Tony. Hi, Tony. Be there in a minute.
He's like, Boy, I thought this movie was in 3D. It was really good. It felt like the ceiling tiles were falling right in front of you.
Incense around.
So I would say if you're going to go to Argentina, maybe skip the movies.
Or see an outdoor movie.
Go to the drive-in.
Yeah.
And that is all the news that's fit to print.
All right. Let's get on to the crap that we watch.
We have such sights to show you.
There was such concentration on Jason's face when he was getting ready to push that button.
I was ready, baby.
You were in the pocket on that. And you know what? You're going to lead off.
That's good because I have a movie I really want you guys to watch. It popped up on Shudder, and I thought, you know what? Let's check this out. I haven't watched a movie from the 80s that I haven't heard of in a little while, and that's called Eyes of Fire, which I picked because the description is pretty wild. A preacher is accused of adultery, and he and his followers are chased out of town. They become stranded in an isolated forest, which is haunted by the spirits of French colonists controlled by evil.
What the heck?
That's kind of crazy. So I'll check that out. This movie is insane. I mean, shit just happens, and you're like, why'd that happen? Oh, there are ghosts running through the field. Oh, they disappeared. Oh, it's nighttime. Oh, it is so crazy. And it also is very much like The Witch, where this guy and his followers go out and they start encountering witchcraft, and things start getting crazier and crazier, and they're all speaking Old English. It is very, like, I have a feeling this may have inspired The Witch a little bit. Now, it goes off the rails. There are faces in trees. There's this pastor who takes everyone out is just banging this dude's wife. Like, this guy, I don't know if he went out hunting or exploring, and he was gone a long time, and his wife started getting railed by the pastor while he was gone. And then they just rob the town and leave. So the hunter gets back, tracks them down, and then just starts living with them, and can hear his wife getting plowed by the pastor. And he's just like, well, you know.
It's what God
happens.
intended.
It's like William H. Macy and Boogie Nights.
This is really freaking crazy. I would be curious to hear what you guys think of this. It feels like a 70s movie, even though it came out in 83, because it's just so out there. And the craziest shit happens.
I've never heard of this movie.
I've never heard of it either. I liked it quite a bit, and I'm not even sure why, other than the insanity of it. Because, man, there aren't any rules. There's no...
But wait, you like rules.
I know. While I was watching, I kept saying to Aaron, I was like, I kind of like this, and I don't know that I should. But this is out there. So if you want to see, it's only an hour and 26 minutes. So
Perfect.
in and out, absolute insanity. It's a nice gem that Shudder found.
Oh, man. I'm watching
Eyes of
that.
Fire.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
At one point, Aaron, I don't remember what was going on. She was like, I'm confused. I was just like, how are you confused about the guy who came out of the tree who has a worm in his mouth or a frog? And then when the girl ate the frog, she became the power witch and disappeared. I'm like, how do you not understand this?
It is self-explanatory,
It
Aaron.
makes perfect sense.
Jeez. Wives.
At one point, somebody's possessed. So the hunter guy just goes out in a tree and starts cutting it down because it has a face on it. And as soon as he cuts it down, she's fine. It's like, and then it's just not addressed. Oh,
Well, I can't watch this with my wife because she has a million questions on a straightforward movie. So I'm going to have to wait till she's asleep.
yeah. I would not watch that with her then.
Damn. This sounds good, though. I'm in.
Sometimes when people ask me questions and stuff really early on, I just start to get pissed off. And I'm just like, I don't know. I've been watching this as long as you. I have no idea who that person is yet.
I say it all the time. I'm like, you and I have watched this for the same amount of time. I have no freaking idea. Shut up, dingbat. I don't say that. All right, Jack. Bring us the goods.
I'll tell you what, man. I read a book that I found out recently is out of print.
Oh, I saw the preview of this.
Oh,
Combustible.
Hey.
Let me tell you something. This is not his creature.
No. By the way, I love that cover. Chad did that
Wow.
cover.
Great cover.
That's a great
Yeah.
cover.
It's one of my favorite covers of all time.
So this is about a world where spontaneous combustion, human combustion, starts to happen all over the place, and by anybody is susceptible to it. So
As long as you can,
nobody stays. I did not expect this movie. It's kind of a road trip movie or book.
I wish it was a movie.
Would
Call
make a
me.
good. I actually think this would make a good comedy. The book has humor in it,
Yeah.
but I think you put this like in Seth Rogen's hands, like the whole "This is the end," guys.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a great source material for a movie with those guys.
By the way, Jason, one of the main characters is Dave.
Yes.
His
Like
slovenly
actually
friend.
Dave, or just somebody named Dave?
Somebody named Dave, but based a lot on Dave. Slovenly
I pictured him the whole time.
Yeah.
Slovenly Dave.
traveling around in an RV with his friends looking for a safe.
I pictured Dave in it the whole time, so I'm taking a star off the rating.
Oh,
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah.
This is a really fun read. Great pace. I think it might be on the comments. I saw Laurel said something. Is she one of? Yeah, here it is.
She gave a blurb, yeah.
A marriage disintegrating in real time. That is a great way to describe the relationship in this. You are watching a couple going through kind of hell, but the deterioration of the relationship and what people are thinking and how they're taking it out on each other. A lot of human insight in here, but with the usual Hunter Shea flair. And one of the things I love about this, again, in a lot of your books, you do this. You take everyday people, you put them in situations, and they don't always have guns and stuff, and they just use everyday stuff as a weapon, which is like if somebody broke in here, I don't have a Glock or something. So I'd be like, what's in the kitchen drawer that I can use? And I'd be like, using a nutcracker or a can opener or something. You have a knack for stuff like that. So very enjoyable read.
Oh, thank you.
2 thumbs up, my man. Good job. So
yeah, the premise of that book was coming out of COVID. I said, what would life be like if you and your wife were about to get divorced and a pandemic forced you to stay together?
Yeah.
And you're stuck with each other and fucking hate each other. So that's where that comes in. So
this is kind of a different feel for you. Like it's not
totally
a creature feature.
tone.
So it's good. Different tone. So
yeah.
Good stuff, kid.
I still have to read that. I have my copy, but I still haven't read it yet.
Call me up, Amazon. Let's make a series. Let's make it happen.
Hell yeah.
All right. Here I am. I'm on part 4 of my scanners journey. And we are now, the title is Scanner Cop from 1993 or 94. Now, remember when I told you Scanners 3 was like off the charts? It's a perfect SBIG movie. Doesn't take itself very seriously.
Yeah.
This is a totally different tone. So
really? Because that cover looks like horrible.
Oh, the cover's horrible. But this is a serious movie. So they're not joking around. This is a serious narrative thread. So it starts out with this guy who's a scanner living in this dingy apartment with his young son. And he's run out of the medication, the ephemeral, that keeps your scanning under control, but also shortens your life. And he's going nuts. Have you seen this?
No, Brian James and Richard Lynch are SBIG legends.
I was going to tell you, Richard Lynch is the bad guy in this, by the way.
Of course.
For that alone, it's worth it. But anyway, the cops come in because the guy's going nuts and they kill the father. And then one of the cops takes the son in, eventually adopts him. And then we cut to that kid is now an adult and he's just retired. He's just graduated from the police academy.
That's a dude?
That's not a dude. I don't know who that is. I don't remember seeing that person in the movie.
That's quite a haircut.
Yeah, that looks like Emo Phillips.
That is 90s as can be.
Emo films and Prince had a kid.
I want to sing sexy motherfucker. So, once he gets on the force, naturally there are Richard Lynch is working with this kind of like a dominatrix, and they're kidnapping people and then brainwashing them to kill cops. So the scanner cop is asked not to take his meds, so he has his full abilities, his psychic abilities and telekinetic abilities, to find out who's doing this. It's a pretty steady police procedural. A head does explode at one point.
I hope so.
I mean, if you don't have an exploding head in a scanner movie, there's no point.
What are you doing?
I mean, people do get thrown around a lot, like through walls and stuff with the scanner power. But like I said, it's not played for laughs, but it's actually pretty good. Again, not a bad movie. That cover is awful, by the way.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's terrible. The movie is not terrible. I'm like thinking, this is a springboard for a possible series. You could make a Scanner Cop series. Because
Didn't they do a sequel?
There's a sequel, yes. But if you wanted to do a series somewhere, if Tubi wanted to do a series, an idea of a cop who can read minds and stop a gunman with his mind and throw a gunman around and stuff, like that's the best cop ever. But then you also have to realize sooner or later he's going to burn out and he's going to die.
Slow your roll, pal. The best cop ever is a wolf cop.
For sure. Especially you want to watch that wolf bang a chick in the prison.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's going to be a segue to my movie tonight. But anyway, I digress. Scanner Cop. You can watch it on YouTube for free.
For free.
Yeah. So
not SBIG material?
It's not SBIG material. It's an okay horror movie. But 3? Oh my! It was made just for you.
I'm in, baby.
Yeah. You were just a teen at the time, but they said, that guy's going to have a show that's going to appreciate this pile of garbage we're putting together.
Making it for him.
What else you got, J-Man?
I read a book you recommended called Europa.
Yes.
By Greig Beck. I guess you'd say Greg that way. It's spelled weird.
I know. It looks Greig, but I'll say
Greig. Yes, exactly. You told me straight up I would love this book. You were 100% right. This is freaking great. Jack, you should read this.
Jack, you'll love this.
You should read this. It's
put on the list.
Some astronaut. It's only like 200 pages, 220 pages too. It's not like a crazy long book.
If I can find it in my little library.
You won't. You're going to have to download this.
It's man, I was so happy with this. Was it like around 2000 is the beginning of the story, and they send a probe to Europa, the moon, one of the moons around Jupiter, right?
Jupiter, yep.
Jupiter. And the probe, they think, sees some alien life that grabs it and takes it down into the ocean under the ice. But there seems to be some debate about what it actually was. So 20 years later, they decide, all right, we're sending a crew up there. We're going to take a submersible into the water, and we're going to have somebody go across the ice, and we're going to see if we can find life. Well, it doesn't take long before things go not sideways so much as they explode and go horribly, horribly wrong. I mean, there's no build up. Hey guys, do you think maybe something's going on? No, it is immediately like, oh, we are fucked. And
and we're a long way from home.
Yeah, and it never stops. And the things that happen to these astronauts, you're like, I don't know how they can get out of this. Like, I literally do not understand how anybody can survive. So it's got crazy good tension. And I just like this guy's writing style. It's smooth. There's no points where I'm thinking like, oh God, I'm getting lost in this giant ass paragraph, or is this chapter almost over? I want to go to bed. I never felt that. I was just into the story. He's just has a nice, smooth style.
Yeah. I have picked up 5 more of his books since I read that.
I liked this so much. I am reading another one of his books right now. I immediately went to Amazon and bought one. So,
is it the Center of the Earth book?
It is. Yes.
That was the one that was just on sale. Good pick.
Man, it's like, you know how cheap I am.
I sure do.
Yep. And by the way, it's freaking great. It's so good so far.
I just saw an ad for another book he has coming out soon. I was like, it has to come out right now. Like I instantly become a crazed fan.
Somehow I've never heard of this guy. If you look at how many reviews his books have on Amazon, this guy sells shitloads of books.
I know.
I've never heard of him. How's that possible?
Well, see, that's why we do this show. We're still discovering things.
People, Greig, I'm thinking it's Greig. Greig Beck, do it. He's freaking great.
And do not buy a Glenn Beck book and think you're going to get a cool horror novel. You're not. You're going to get political tripe.
I mean, it might be horror, but just maybe not the way you're hoping.
The horror of Glenn Beck. All right, Cinderfella. Wave your wand.
Dressed in yeller. Well, since I'm the only one with Netflix, the new Fear Street movie came out this weekend. Fear Street
the prom thing?
Prom Queen.
Wow.
This takes place in the 80s, and it's about a girl who's running for prom queen against a bunch of the mean girls in the school. And it's a slasher flick that's got all the typical Fear Street nostalgia tricks up its sleeve, you know.
And the
It's
good
got
soundtrack.
the needle drops and the other music in it, besides the songs, you know, like the score, whatever. They do a lot of that 80s stuff. It takes place in this Fear Street world, but it really doesn't reference the first three movies a ton, which is a good because I don't remember the story much about the other ones. I remember watching them and kind of
that
forgot
was forever ago.
This for me felt like it was, you know, in the wake of so many other nostalgia bait movies, you know, in the wake of Stranger Things and even Fear Street. Like I was like, if I was with some younger people and we were watching it, it'd be a good movie to have on so that I could point things out and be like, oh, that's like this movie. And oh, that, you know, I could point
Back
out.
then we didn't wear our pants like that.
Yeah. Like, well, the 80s weren't really like that. Like, because when you're watching it, nobody talks like they're actually in the 80s in it. They're all talking like kids now, but wearing like 80s stuff. So like, it's got some decent kills in it, but there's a lot of like CGI, not practical effect stuff. It felt like it was made for the age group that it's made for. And I'm not that age group. But if I was, like I said, if I was with, you know, if I had nieces or nephews or cousins or whatever, that age, that would be a great thing to put on and share the experience. But when you're just like watching it as me, I was like, this didn't do much for me.
You know who's going to like that movie?
Huh?
You know who's going to like that? Tim.
Tim, love it.
He's a Fear Street fan, and he ain't a kid, even though he looks like one. So he'll like that. We have to reach out to him.
One thing I did like, they have some pretty, like, they're fun and rather obvious 80s songs in a lot of cases that they play, and that could be fun, whatever. One great thing is, though, at one point they go and they find like the burnout kids or smoking pot, like on the other side of the school or the other side of town or whatever. Yeah. And when they go to see them, they're playing Judas Priest, and it's like, this is the most realistic thing in this movie.
I miss the 80s.
So it's not a terrible movie. I think if you're a Fear Street fan or like as you're younger, you probably dig this more than I did. I didn't hate it or anything. I kind of watched it. It got me through. It was like a new release, got me through, and now I'll forget about it and move on to the next thing.
By the way,
kind of how the other movies felt to me. Like they were fine. Now I forgot about them.
I actually think the first one, the one with the bread cutter thing, I thought that, and even the summer camp one, I thought those were better than this one because I thought they were more fun and faster paced. This one just kind of felt a little more blah than those. And again, I wasn't a huge fan of those either, but I got more out of those than I did this one.
Can't make a blah slasher. That's like, the hell are you thinking?
It's kind of predictable too. So,
you guys remember the good old days before Netflix started making their own stuff when they would just get good horror movies on there we'd never heard of, like The Taking of Deborah Logan that just appeared one day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now it's like
we got some pounds or whatever that symbol is.
Johnny recaps 5 L's. Before you get stuck, oh, he's in Ireland. Before you get stuck into the toe meat, have any of you seen my stepsister video?
No, because I didn't want to watch it before I watched the movie, but now
exactly.
I'll watch it tonight when I'm done.
I didn't see it. I finished the movie about 45 minutes before we started the show.
And Johnny, be careful when you say my stepsister video, because that implies something else entirely different.
Talking about meat and stepsister.
Yeah. Even if you said ugly stepsister, it's still not enough to separate you from the chaff on all the tubes.
Why do you ask? Bring it on. I'm curious.
Let us know.
Well,
but we're gonna watch it. But yeah, I try not to even read the synopsis on the movie before I start it.
I don't watch trailers, nothing. Yeah.
I will definitely watch it after though, because he does great analysis, and I always end up being like, wow, I never get as much out of the movie as he does.
Look, we're working on far less brain cells.
I give the 3 beers deep review of the movie usually. So
yeah, that's what I used to do. I miss that. All right. So even though I got Netflix, my daughter got a Netflix subscription for a year with her new phone. Like, oh, all right. I'm not going to put that on the watch list. I'm going to skip it. I did watch a movie that Matt Serafini, when we were doing the Full Moon features retrospective. So he mentioned a couple of movies that I hadn't heard of, which was shocking. But this one, man, you're going to love this one. Meridian. So we mentioned Wolf Cop before and the sweet, sweet lovemaking of Wolf Cop. This movie stars Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks fame. And she is going back to the castle where she grew up or whatever. And now it's her castle, and her friend, who is pumped up with some silicone, go there to, reacquaint themselves with the castle. And you got the matronly nice lady who runs everything for her and takes care of her in the castle. And a kind of carnival sideshow comes to town, and they get beguiled by the carnies and invite them over for dinner. That is just dumb. But anyway, they come and they have a wonderful dinner. And then the next thing you know, both girls have been drugged, because whenever you have carnies over your house and you got a long table, you're going to have a dwarf walking on the table, drinking and serving wine. I don't know. I don't know how many times I've actually seen that. It's so funny. I was like, that's a trope. Dwarf wine on table trope.
It's a category of movie for Tim.
He's got all of them, all 47 of them.
Drunk dwarf on a table.
Serving wine.
Probably one of my favorite drunk dwarf on a table.
And by the way, this is a modern movie, so it's not set way back. But both girls are drugged, and sweet, sweet love is made to them. I will give this movie A+ for nudity. Sherilyn Fenn, I forgot, has one of the nicest pair of talents of that time period of the 90s.
What do I know her from? I can't place her.
Twin Peaks.
I never watched Twin Peaks.
Oh.
I didn't watch a ton of Twin Peaks, but I know her from that.
Oh, that's driving me nuts.
There were times where they lit her up. She looked exactly like Elizabeth Taylor. I mean, carbon copy.
Oh.
Just drop dead gorgeous sometimes. There you go. So there are scenes where she's starting to make love, and it's these two guys who are twins and doing the old switcheroo. And one of them is just a bad son of a bitch, and one of them is a werewolf. So as he's doing the deed, he turns into a werewolf and still doing the deed.
If you have a person who's a werewolf in a movie and they don't transform while making sweet love, you have wasted an opportunity.
You have lost.
If we've learned anything from The Howling, it's that.
There's stuff in this movie though that is so funny. Like at one point, she's like laying in this bed in this unused portion of the castle, and the wall opens up, and this red light, and this dude comes out of the
candle
wall.
Beck.
I was like, she not questioning why this person's coming out of the wall, turned into a werewolf, and then dropped his seed and left into the wall. There's some like weird stuff going on here, but this movie is thoroughly enjoyable. Matt, if you're listening, watching, I can't thank you enough for telling me to watch this movie. I think it was on Tubi, so free is best. But I would have paid. I would have paid $2.99 for this movie.
It looks like it's also on Prime.
Oh, even better. No commercials. Well, actually,
I've never heard of this.
I hadn't either. And now it has completed my Carney Werewolf New Chicks, all the boxes that I'm always.
Have you ever found a movie that's like $2 something on Prime and free on Tubi, and you pay the $2 so you don't have to deal with the commercials?
Yes. But then nowadays, sometimes you even pay and you still got to watch a commercial.
Yeah, then now Prime is giving you commercials. So
it's like jerks.
Don't get me started on Prime. I'm going to start ranting.
All right.
it really grinds my gears.
No screaming at clouds, Jason. Not tonight.
Can't help it.
It's the Trace Leches, man. It's all
somebody has to take up Chad's mantle of complaining about modern shit.
So that's all I got. I got Meridian. Go check it out. It's worth watching. And
That's on my list.
Dude, Sherilyn Fenn, or many parts of this movie, is probably one of the best looking women ever put on film. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
And the fact that she was letting them linger on her naked body as much as she was, it's like, Jesus.
Before you jump off this, I love that Charles Band bought a castle and was like, I'm going to write the whole thing off by shooting movies in it.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Movies.
That's so good.
He kept that castle for a very long time.
Why did he sell it? Do you know?
Because, the wheels were falling off, and that's what happens with him. He buys something, he starts it, goes crazy, then it just falls apart, and he
starts
looks
over.
at the next thing. Yeah. So that castle is in Subspecies and Castle Freak and just so many movies.
Jimmy Ma in the chat is saying that if you use Brave, you don't have ads on Tubi. What's Brave?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a browser. It's a browser. It
must
have a blocker built in, an ad blocker.
No, that's good to know. I usually watch Tubi on my TV, but sometimes I watch it on my laptop.
There you go.
All right, let's jump into tonight's main feature, the wickedly delightful body horror fairy tale, The Ugly Stepsister.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Said no one ever, but Jay Oliveira in the chat. I got Tubi so I could watch the Steve Harvey show.
Nice.
Really?
That should be splashed across Tubi's homepage.
The Steve Harvey show is on Tubi?
Who knew?
All right.
I'm glad you got there, though. No matter the reason, now you're there, and there's just, if you like horror, man, that's like, you could be on there forever and never catch up. Oh, saw Mission Impossible 8 today. Don't know if I would recommend. 3 hours? No.
2 hours and 45 minutes. I was thinking about going this past weekend, and then I saw that, and I was like,
I didn't think the last movie was that great. It was okay, but it wasn't. I'm not excited for this one.
I don't need that extra 45 minutes.
I only watched the first one. Do you think I could catch on to 8 and not miss anything?
Probably, because I haven't seen all of them, but do I remember anything from any of them except that somebody pulled a mask off? And
they're all good except 2. 2 is trash. Do not watch 2.
Good to know.
But they're all good. They're legit good movies. It's an impressive series.
If I'm ever trapped in a hospital bed with nothing else to do, there you go. All right. Jack, you're our expert synopsizer. You want to give this one a go?
Wait, did we do the...
We're in the main feature.
We're in the main feature? We did that?
Yep,
okay.
We did the bumper.
Did you just phase out?
I've been reading the comments, baby.
Oh, okay.
I do have a request.
Yes.
Since we need to amp up the show, since Chad has left, can we bring back the rapping movie description?
You could rap. You could rap, man.
I'm not a rap expert like you are.
Here's the thing about the rap. I'm brutally honest with you. It's a lot of work it's a lot of squeeze for not a lot of juice.
You could probably use Chat GPT now and just say, give me
Yeah,
a
right.
20-second
is
rap
true.
about this movie.
How about this? I'll prepare something for whatever next week's movie is.
Okay.
Who knows how I'll do it? I might do it like an Irish guy.
I
do it
can't
like a
rap
Russian.
about this one because what the hell was this movie? It was Cinderella from the perspective of an ugly stepsister who goes to painful lengths to not be the ugly stepsister anymore. And along the way, we get a lot of bodily fluids.
Fluids. And something that I never want to see in a movie.
There are a lot of things I didn't want to see in a movie in this.
Oh, well, there's one thing I was very
There
excited
was
for.
some Motley Lou from Hot Tub Time Machine.
So yeah, it's on Shudder. So if you got it, watch it. This is what I've been waiting for days. Put your beer down, my friend. Jason, I want to know your thoughts. I said he's either going to dig this movie or just kill us all for making us put this on the main feature list.
I liked it. I think it's very well made.
All
I don't
right.
love it. This is not my kind of movie. A slow drama with a bunch of dicks and body horror is not typically the kind of movie I'm going to go out of my way to watch. It's one of these movies I'll never watch again. But it's well done. Like, I could never argue that this is not a well-made, effective, disgusting movie. I mean, every scene in this is gross. There's no scene that's not like horrifying. I mean, my name is Cinderella's ass because we get a display of all of Cinderella in a barn. And the scene's disgusting. It's gross.
I mean, but by the way, how many horror movies have we watched where you get to see back vag and a close up of a tallywhacker in the full throes of ready to go?
I mean, have we ever seen a stable boy jizz on a saddle or something after banging Cinderella?
That movie with what the hell was the Mia Goth and the
Infinity
dude
Pool?
from
Infinity Pool or whatever.
Yeah, Infinity Pool, where she just walks up and grabs him. That had what I thought was going to be like the ultimate close up, and then this movie said, "Hold my beer."
By the way, this is a subcategory of movies. This is we should call the semen drops. So you got this, you've got Infinity Pool, you got that movie with our buddy Josh Rubin where he's Sink.
Reindeer? What was that called? Shit.
I can't remember the name of it, but
with the best Foley of all time.
Yes.
I mean, it stood out so much we had to ask him about it. So yeah, this could be even drop.
His reaction to that was priceless.
So I did like it. I was surprised because honestly, at the beginning, I was like, "God damn it, Chad! Like, dude, I gotta watch this shit." But it's really well done. It's gross. It's gross. It's gross. And my biggest complaint is it's too long. Hour 50 minutes of this, like, dude, cut to the chase.
Yeah, you could have definitely chopped off about 30 minutes.
But it's well made, and it's a great Shudder movie. Like, these are the kinds of movies I pay for Shudder for. Something I would have never picked to watch, if I had to pay a couple bucks for it. But check it out on Shudder. Was like, yeah, that was a solid movie.
All right. I'm a little surprised. I didn't think there'd be middle ground with you. I thought it was just left or right. Jack, I thought we might get middle ground. So we're going to see.
What do you call it, like in Ricky Bobby when his buddy's like riding behind him? Is drafting?
Drafting.
Yeah. I'm going to draft off the chase in here. Shake and bake. Because I was like, how do I explain a movie that like I respect or think like has technical merit to it, but I don't know if I liked it. Like I was kind of, there was body horror that I think I just been watching horror movies too long. Stuff was going on. And I was just like, oh, okay. That's cool. Whatever. I'm so desensitized.
You really are, man.
That I was watching it. I mean, I was like, okay, but it wasn't fueling like a love for the movie. It was more like, oh, okay, they did that. Oh, that's a pretty cool special effect. But maybe it's the context that, like, if the movie was more entertaining, a little higher energy, it kind of got repetitive with what it was doing.
Mhm.
So yes,
Yes.
technically looked good, little long. It's subtitled. So
I had to read.
look, don't even start with me because I've watched 10,000 more Korean horror movies than you and loved them.
What are you coming
So,
off on me for?
Yeah, you like to.
Come on. I watch Indonesian movies all the time.
Yeah, but you like to condescend on me. Like I don't like to read subtitles. I felt it.
First of all, that was a general. We have to read. I'm
gaslighting me.
sorry.
Gaslighter.
Victim.
Gaslighter.
Professional victim.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. I was only kidding around. Are we cool?
We're fine.
Cool. All right.
To be fair, I don't mind subtitle movies, but when I see they're like an hour 50 plus, I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
what was that movie? Where it's, I think it's Korean or something like that. Where the like with the scissors and the angry zombies, like it makes you really super angry with the
oh
guy
yeah
on the train and all that stuff. Like that one, that had over the top violence and stuff. You had to read, but it was super duper tense and entertaining.
Yeah, that.
Whereas this was just sort of like, you know, like the nose scene was a little bit like, oh.
Really? I thought that was like the easiest one for me.
I think because it was the easiest one to feel like I've been in like a dentist chair or other, you know what I mean? That I felt like, oh, I've been in that vulnerable situation where I've never really worried about chopping my toes off.
You know, I was thinking about what you're saying about not feeling tense. I think at that point, we didn't know she was a total piece of shit character yet. Whereas after that, like the more the movie went on, it's like, I don't feel sorry for this psycho.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not in her shoes, so to speak.
I took it differently. I felt really bad for her. Her mind was so screwed up from her mom and her life. By the way, her and Cinderella are both good and bad people. Cinderella's a bit of a bitch too.
I thought everybody in this movie was bad.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
The only one who got slightly redeemed was Cinderella a little bit.
A little bit, but I think
not.
Elvira's
you know what? The sister, the younger sister.
Yeah.
That's it.
Was just looking at everybody going, what a bunch of
She did the funniest thing in the movie. We'll get to it in spoilers.
Yeah. So, all right. I was expecting like a lot. And I'm like, this is just a fairy tale. This is the ugly duckling married to Cinderella, told from the point of view of one of the ugly stepsisters. I personally love ugly duckling stories. Like Love Potion #9, Sandra Bullock. Give her frizzy hair and put on glasses and then make her beautiful by the end. I always like that. I don't know. It's a thing. What this girl went through between the just the physical stuff and the eye thing, I forced myself not to look away. I said, you got to get over this sooner or later. Just watch it. And the whole time I just kept going, Watsky. What she had to go through mentally, physically would destroy anybody. So I was like really hanging my hat on that. The body horror stuff was cool. Like I said, it's a little too long. It's very well made. The main girl is phenomenal. Another person with a great pair of talents. I mean, and throwing a couple of wang doodles, that's fine. I don't mind that. The second one I thought was kind of fake. The one with the mom and
I think they were both fake. I think they were both fake.
Yeah, I have to look that. I'll have to pause that. The first one seemed to have no definition or veins.
Maybe Johnny Recaps will tell us in his recap.
Maybe he knows. He's our resident dick expert.
That's what he wants us to watch it for. His dick analysis.
So I think it's a very good movie. I'm glad I watched it. I might watch this movie again only because I liked the pathos of Elvira and what she was going through, and some of the body horror was absolutely disgusting. Johnny Recox, he's rebranding himself. Oh, Johnny. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good movie to watch. It's not my favorite movie. Couldn't be just for that one scene, but it's very good.
I would be absolutely blown away if this made my list at the end of the year. Blown away. Only because we've had so many good movies so far, and we're not even into the horror season yet.
True.
I don't agree that we've had so many good movies. I feel like we've had a pack of decent movies that are not list worthy and a few that are list worthy for me.
Oh, dude, I've got like 6 that if they don't make my list already, I would be blown away.
5 or 6 was like the most. And then there's a whole bunch that I'm like,
Yeah, but I'm not talking like October to December. I'm talking January to April, like
yeah,
the shit
Yeah.
zone. To have 6 movies that I'm super happy with is
It's
a
crazy.
good year.
But you might change your mind. Like somewhere in the year, Jason, you might get on like a whole like cock thing. And you're like,
That's
oh,
true.
I do like this movie.
That's twice in 3 weeks I've watched movies with multiple dicks.
What is that saying about it?
I don't know what's happening.
Do you check that out beforehand? You go, oh, what's the dick count on this?
Yeah. I go to dickcounts.com. Johnny's dickcaps.com.
Johnny Recock's dick count.
Got to make sure I'm getting a good one, you know?
That is a really good idea for it.
I like his Patreon where you get the extended cut.
Yay! Fueled by Blue Chew. So I think we're all kind of in line with each other. We all like the movie. We feel the passion and the art that went into making it. Just there's parts where you're like, all right.
Good Shutter movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Just, you know, okay. It even felt like a lot of the body horror stuff is just kind of thrown in for the shock value. And I don't know that a lot of it added to the movie. It definitely gives it a reputation.
Yes.
But like one of the last scenes that we'll get into in spoilers, like that did need to be in the movie. Like it just,
if this
Or
movie
the
didn't
level
have
it
the
went to.
body horror, I don't know if I would have.
If it didn't have the body horror, it's just a freaking fairy tale.
it's just,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
it's just a drama, you know,
Yeah.
of the Grimm fairy tales.
But let's just say, as far as the execution of art, when you take these public domain things, a la
Oh,
Popeye,
yeah.
Winnie the Pooh,
for
oh my
public
God.
domain, this is like top 2 or 3, if not number 1.
So
Johnny says about the underlying metaphor. If you're talking about like the lengths women go to for beauty, and that women are, you know, shit on each other more about beauty than men. Like, yeah, I totally got all that. Added nothing to the movie for me. Like, I don't care.
there could be something else, something that only
Yeah.
somebody in Ireland knows about.
Maybe you're talking about something else. But yeah, I picked up on that pretty quickly because she goes to crazy lengths. But
Ugh.
yeah, I don't.
I
I
had to
see
look
that.
up-
Like, you just open Instagram, I can see that. I don't need to watch.
Yeah,
watch
exactly.
this movie for that.
I had to immediately look up and see if there were braces in the 1800s.
Me
And there
too.
were.
I was like, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. Her
But the
teeth looked
size of the
great.
cutting shears he used to get them off, I'm like, all right, that's a little extreme. Couldn't find anything a little smaller, but whatever. All right, Jack,
weren't-
ring that bell.
Spoiler alert.
Here we
I
go,
got a quick
folks.
question. There was like no supernatural stuff in this movie. And then all of a sudden, there was the stuff with the pumpkin and Cinderella. What happened there? Like,
And the silkworms repairing her dress
yeah.
because her
Like,
dead mom came to her.
is
As she's
this-
laying on her father's rotting corpse?
The way I explained it to myself is, well, maybe in Cinderella, we always see it from Cinderella's perspective, where you see a fairy godmother, and I'm thinking just the Disney version, you know, singing animals and all that other stuff. Maybe if you're not one of the main characters, you don't see all that. She was just like, wow, she just showed up in a beautiful dress, and then like, hey, why is this pumpkin here? Was that it? That we just didn't see it? Or
Dude,
it's
it's Cinderella. Cinderella is supernatural. So you had to throw that in this. They could have made it more grounded, but that silkworm fixing a dress and the pumpkin, I was like, we maybe didn't need that.
Yeah, the later it got in the movie, the more I was like, the build up to the ball I thought was better than once she was there. Yeah, and once the supernatural stuff, it didn't. I knew it was Cinderella, so it wasn't like it took me out of it, but it was like it really didn't match what was
Or they
going
could
on
have
for us.
introduced a little of it early.
Yeah. And also, I'm not exactly an expert on Cinderella, so
According to my wife, the whole scene where she cut off her toes to fit in the shoe, my wife says, I think that's in the actual original tale.
I mean, it wouldn't
Man.
surprise me. Those are some dark ass tales.
But
But
wouldn't he?
Never read it.
Wouldn't Prince Charming notice that she has no toes? And maybe not one?
But that's like somebody not noticing that there's a wolf dressed like a grandmother in a bed.
Which
That
is
is
also
very
something
true.
I've always questioned.
So Johnny says it's in the Brothers Grimm. So yeah, there we go. But I love the fact that she cuts off her toes almost, and then as she's given drugs by mom to calm her down, she goes, "You did the wrong foot."
Yeah.
And it proceeds to cut off the other set of toes.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I actually thought that was like, it was really gory, but I thought the mom doing it, they cut it just the right time on the second foot. I thought that was well done.
Some good toe close-ups.
And that mom was perfectly evil,
Yeah.
especially letting Cinderella. But they kept calling her Cinderella, but they called her something else too.
Agnes.
Agnes.
I think
Yeah.
it was like Agnes or something.
Yeah.
Then
Oh,
all of a
whatever.
sudden she's Cinderella.
Yeah. The first time she said Cinderella, I was like, oh yeah. Like I had kind of forgotten it was a Cinderella story till that point. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Or I was thinking, is this meta? Is this they know about the Cinderella tale and now they understand the situation that she's in? It's like, oh yeah, you're just like Cinderella. I don't know. But the fact that the evil stepmom won't bury the father who was just rotting in a room. That was
Now,
horrendous.
she was willing to blow anyone to get what she wanted, but not a guy to dig a grave. That was the only thing she was willing to pay money for. Everything else, she'd give her body away for.
And you got to think about it. This is way back then when the graves, it was a family plot in the backyard. So really, how much would it have taken?
Yeah, for real.
The funniest thing for me in the whole movie was at the end when the other sister is taking Cinderella out to leave, and she's
Yeah.
doing the wheelbarrow walk with her.
And they're laughing at this, like, the craziness of it.
That was funny.
I thought they did a good job too. By the end of the movie, well, maybe I should wait for spoilers. Oh, we're in spoilers.
You did spoil
We're
it.
in spoilers.
Hey, you
We're
missed
doing
the
the main
bumper, I
feature.
missed the bell.
We're doing the main feature. We've now gone to spoilers.
God damn. I thought them marring all the stuff she did to gain her beauty and having it taken away, that was solid stuff.
Yeah. And man, the sewing in the eyelashes in the eye, I almost barfed. My cat was on my lap and I squeezed him so hard he yelped and ran off. But I stayed.
The stuff I really liked in this movie was the tapeworm, the stomach churning, the way she was like jamming food down her face, like in the middle of the night and stuff, and then that whole removal of the worm, that was top notch.
That was a lot of worm, man.
That was a lot of worm.
She gave birth to Cthulhu. I swear there were tentacles coming out of her at one point.
And I think they were using that too as removing that from her was like removing this illness of trying to get with the prince. Because after that is when she kind of came back to her senses and was leaving and laughing with her sister. And
yeah.
So
I just
kind of
love how that teacher was like, it's about what's inside you, and gives her a tapeworm to put inside her.
Yeah.
And then we hear stomach rumbling for 45 minutes. Are you going to poop, young lady? But she turned out to be a pretty girl.
There were some pretty women in this.
Cinderella wasn't so
dudes
bad
were
herself.
studs too. Yeah.
Well, Cinderella would be the final girl in any 80s movie. She had that
Did
look.
she look familiar?
Yes.
Do I know her from a show or something?
She looked like the blonde that was in the TV show V. You remember her?
Never saw it.
I can't remember what her name is, but she reminded me of her. And a couple other. And one of the girls on, what's that Scott Baio show? Charles in Charge.
Yeah, she looked like Charles in Charge, or one of the fake Brady sisters when they came back and did like the Brady shows.
Yeah, she had that look about her.
Not sure this girl was born when Charles in Charge was on TV.
Oh no, definitely not. But she just had that look.
Yeah, the whole time I was like, man, does she look familiar? But
It's a
Now,
freaky
Chad definitely dug the body horror
yeah.
aspect because when he was telling us about it, he kept like sort of leaning in on those moments.
Yeah.
But like, where do you think this would land on his end of the year?
probably
'Cause-
number one.
It'll be up there.
It's unlikable people doing unlikable things. This is Lutsky 101.
I mean, I wish now in retrospect, I wish A, it was shorter, but B, they gave the sister a little more of an arc. She barely spoke and just kind of, and then she really came to the fore. Which
Yeah,
is that the same girl?
Yeah, she's
She
not in the
looks-
movie much.
She looks so different by the end. I'm like, did they swap her out with somebody else? But I wanted more of her. I think we needed somebody who was grounded and not evil or an asshole. And we didn't get
I
that.
agree. Yeah. But,
But,
you know, I get why people love it. Like I said,
totally.
good movie. Good movie.
Definitely worth a watch.
I think I appreciated the artistry more than the actual
That exactly.
movie. Yeah.
Shake and bake.
Probably like it a little more than both of you.
Yep.
But yeah, I like the story. I love just that.
Well,
grueling-
considering you're talking about watching it again and we're not,
Yeah,
That's true. I'm not going to watch it tonight, but I would watch it again. Watch it with my mommy. Hey, Mom, got a couple of ding dongs you want to see.
I think we're getting a Cinderella history lesson in the chat.
everybody trying to prove how quickly they can Google something and act
Oh,
like
boy.
they knew it.
Well, who doesn't know this? The Cinderella story is deep roots evolving through various cultures and time periods. The most recognizable, and we should have all known this, is the European version, published in 1697 by Charles Perrault as Cendrillon. How did we not
Cinderella
know
story, about to win Augusta, former assistant greenskeeper.
That's
He's
the
gonna use about a
level of
5
our
iron.
understanding.
It's in the hole.
It's in the hole. She's in the hole. She's got to taper him out. I think we're done. Do we need to discuss any more about this?
No, we're done.
No.
All right, good. I got to go make myself beautiful, my nightly beauty regimen. What's next week, Jack?
Please go see Bring Her Back. And that should be the movie next week.
That's this week.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Is it getting a wide release?
You guys look, it should be getting a wide release, but if for some reason it's not, we should know ahead of time. If it's available for you guys, that should be the main feature.
Yeah,
So we
I
can
agree.
check and
Looks
find it.
Looks like I'll have it.
There you go.
So
I'll
I should be
drive
able
to
to-
find it. I have a weekend with nothing to do for once, so I'm good.
Excellent.
Bring her back,
All right.
baby.
Yeah, we're hearing good things about it. Hopefully, there are no naked wang doodles.
I could use a week off.
Just 1 week off. Until then, y'all have a great time and tell everybody that we are still here. By the way, I think today is our 8-year anniversary.
Ooh,
Really?
the anniversary.
8 years of doing this nonsense.
What a colossal waste of time.
Yeah, we have really
Hey, we
shit the
got
bed.
some nice donations tonight.
We did, and we got to entertain you guys, and ourselves.
We got a lot of schlongs.
Got a history lesson on Cinderella that I didn't want.
Gotta find that 1697 book now. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Bye,
night.
everyone.